qu'est-ce que vous faites? Carmen, elle me dit en anglais, right here what you want. I tell you what I want. I see les aiguilles et la laine dedans. Et j'ai dit, if you like it, je vais apprendre à toutes les femmes qui passent et les hommes à tricoter, bénévoles. Moi, je suis libre, j'ai 92 ans, je suis seule, j'habite ici. Et ça me fait sortir et je vais apprendre à ces gens.
I found that while I do the knitting, it's so calming, and also it helps me to get rid of all those thoughts and illusions and stress that we all somehow experience in our everyday life. Almost in all of Art Hive places, you can find the yarn and the needles. And I learned from different community members. Alice, she's so kind and patient for teaching knitting. She also makes lots of knitting blankets, hats for the community member, and I found that she do it as a form of art of sharing, that she makes things and share it with the people. I'm working with the Art Hive Network for 3 years, especially in this project engAGE Living Lab. I'm an Art Hive facilitator and come to the space, make art, talk to the people, introduce to this wonderful space to the community, and make friends.
The story about this project is that it began with a group of researchers at Concordia University from the engAGE Center for Research in Aging. And so we started putting some ideas together about how wonderful it would be to bridge the work that we're already doing at Concordia with the art hives, with the community and the researchers themselves.
Well, I like this place. I like being at the engAGE Living Lab as a project as a whole and here. I had a few experiences and it's very intergenerational. It's not just for seniors or just for children. There's this component that sort of breaks down a lot of stuff which is really kind of important socially, and we have to learn to break down all these barriers that we keep sending up, and no, they got to come down, and that goes on here, and that's one thing I can truly appreciate.
I have been teaching for over 50 years, and I am 92. I would like to know that my work can be shared by everybody. And so I've decided to use my talent to teach other people. And when I came across the area here where there are older people here who would like to learn and sit and talk and be sociable, it was just perfect for me.
When we introduced this project, the idea was to pilot it in the Cavendish Mall. The Cavendish Mall is known for serving a larger population of older adults. There are quite a few apartments here that are housing many of the World War II survivors of Holocaust. And to basically multiply and learn what we can here to introduce this concept across all shopping malls. In Montreal at least. So that is still the plan. We have recognized that there is a need, there is an interest for spaces such as this to allow older adults to come to relax, to learn, and most importantly to interact with us. The value of interacting with the younger generation, especially with the university students, is something that in my opinion, has been the greatest learning from all the projects.
I think what makes it special is people, and there's so many seniors that come in and there's so much life experience, and I feel like they teach me a lot more than I could ever teach them. Cote Saint-Luc is a very interesting area because there's such a high population of older adults, and also Cavendish Mall is very unusual. It's a lot more independent stores, restaurants, bakeries, only a few more chain stores. So it is very much community oriented. And a lot of people are just curious, like they seem very open to trying things. And once we say, hey, like it's not art lessons, it's free, like you can come, everybody's welcome, you can come with your kids, you can come with your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friend, and everybody can come together. And it's just about being around a table and listening to one another and really building community and care.
Coming to the engAGE Living Lab, my best buddy Jennifer told me all about the engAGE Living Lab. That's how I got involved. And I really, really like it here. And I'm just gonna keep coming back. In the past, I suffered from anxiety, and now I don't have any anxiety whatsoever. So it's helped me tremendously. I give all the credit to the engAGE Living Lab and the community and everyone here.
It just seems like we should also focus on a particular end of life issues when people are so disconnected from their own families and each other. And so when I started to research the ideas about social isolation, it became clear to me that it was an absolute health hazard to be isolated, and that we needed to find ways, simple ways, to do what everyone cares about, which is each other. You know, we care about our older family members. We care about those that they're stuck in their homes without connecting to anyone. I mean, it's a very serious problem. So this is why I think the lab needed the Art Hive to make it a fully creative project.
And indeed, I am. We all are profilers, skilled in the science of body language, experts, degreed in behavior analysis. We smell fear of bodies, intimidate, command public space, engineer a wide berth, force people to vacate, navigate, empowerment from our inglorious state, our ability to generate olfactory sensitivity. With the way the world has changed from the nuclear family or the extended family living together, people are all over this place. So you have parents or aged people who are like orphans, as it were. They have nobody in their lives. So it means that if they can come together through conversations or doing art therapy and everything else, you give them a lifeline from their otherwise bored lives and a sense of worthlessness after a lifetime of work. So you need a sort of space because you're still functioning. After you have been, worked hard for 30, 40 years, you have a couple degrees and everything else, and suddenly you're just plumped in a chair to watch television. You feel like if it's all wasted. Humans need to feel a sense of belonging and to have a voice, right? So an art hive like this and everything else helps, even in terms of people who may be having tremors in their hands and everything else. Simple things like doing art would help. That activity to keep that physical strength up as well, because as we age, we tend to lose it, your body mass, the bone mass and everything else. So anything to create that mental stimulation as well.
So the media that we are presenting here, whether it's videos, TV, virtual reality, games, digital art making, Photoshop, digital photography, any of these have the potential to sort of alleviate some of the pains of living. In some of other projects that I'm doing, I'm working with how individuals are coping with chronic pain. And we are looking at the digital possibilities of coping with chronic pain. So the spa is coming from the assumption that these technologies have a relaxing feature into them, a creative feature into them that allow people to sort of take off from the reality and be immersed in you know, in an experience, in a temporary experience that is helping them to distress while they're engaging with them.
The way in which my research works is using art as a universal language. The idea is for newcomers to not necessarily melt into the society in Canada, but more so integrate and build new communities and community connections more than anything. The thing I love the most about being in this engAGE Living Lab space physically is the ability to show my human vulnerability, to come as I am presently into the space with the idea of it just being okay to be.
It's not about just doing research and leaving. We're trying to build a sustainable model so that when engAGE Living Lab's research ends, we're going to have something available on our website that anyone can access. So someone across the country or somewhere else in the world can see this, can actually see the steps and say, hey, like, that interests me, I really want to do that, I can do that in my community, and everything is upcycled or donated.
My mother, who is visiting me from Iran, she's beginning to struggle with her memory a little bit, and from all the funny and fun experiences that we are having in the past 2 months that she has been here, this space is the one that she remembers most. What she starts working on, she wants to come back to it. Yesterday she was asking me, can we go back so I can finish what I started knitting? So this is, for me, the future. We do need such care centers to assist us in keeping our elders, our parents, our grandparents engaged and also in conversation with us. So the fact that my mother is here, is in a safe space, is speaking with, you know, the facilitators of this laboratory with as little English as she has is, to me, the biggest motivation for continuing this work. This is a work that needs to happen in collaboration with not just funding agencies and the universities, but with our public healthcare sector. I think there is a benefit in providing enriching but not clinical environments to older adults. And my hope is to sort of emphasize the need for making art and consuming art in its digital and its material form for older adults and anybody else who needs to be in an art hive.